Good evening, everyone. Good evening, every society member at Forethought India, and specifically to all the hundreds and thousands of students in the Culinary Arts Society at Forethought. Today, we have Chef Sanjay Thakur with us. He is an award-winning culinary professional who brings a unique perspective to the kitchen. Hailing from the majestic Himalayas of Himachal Pradesh, Chef Thakur's passion for food is deeply rooted in his heritage. This influence shines through in his innovative and flavorful dishes. But Chef Thakur is also a forward-thinking leader who prioritizes sustainable practices in the kitchen. Chef Sanjay Thakur's adventurous spirit is not just confined to the kitchen. He holds the prestigious Guinness World Record for creating the world's highest pop-up restaurant, a remarkable feat that even gathered recognition from the Honorable Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh. This record-breaking achievement boosts Chef Thakur's ability to push boundaries and create unforgettable culinary experience. With over 18 years of experience under his belt, Chef Sanjay Thakur is a seasoned leader who thrives in fast-paced kitchen environments. His expertise extends far beyond crafting delicious dishes. He excels in menu creation, ensuring smooth operation by meticulously planning and organizing workloads and resources. Chef Thakur is also a skilled motivator and a negotiator, adept at guiding and appraising his staff to create a collaborative and a successful team. And he's with us to answer our queries or question about culinary transforming dreams to reality. Let's hear it from him towards building our first question, which I would like to ask the chef is, what inspired you to create the world's highest pop-up restaurant, sir?
Hi, everyone on the other side, and first of all, thank you, team of Forethought, to having me on this portal. I think it's very important that portals like yourself, coming forward and sharing all this knowledge, with youngsters or any age of listeners, listening to your portal, and so it's a privilege, and thank you for this. So coming back on Q&A session, thank you for the lovely introduction as well.
Our pleasure.
And now, when we come back to the session, which says what inspired me, right,
Yes, sir.
to create this world highest restaurant. I think the inspiration came out of understanding that this profession is built on a lot of struggle. So if you see throughout a lot of different careers, of course, uh, every field have its own challenges, right? But culinary have its different sort of challenges, which I have lived last 18 years, which I love it, and there are no complaints, and there will never be any complaints on it. But the whole journey, I was just thinking that we're trying to promote sustainability, we are trying to promote good food, we are trying to promote better working conditions for chefs. All these things, when you want to compile and you want to talk about these problems of the hospitality industry to the public, how we can convey that message, right? So one day, one of the guys told me, "Sir, we have to go on top of the mountain and shout from there, and then people might take us seriously." And that's the time this idea clicked to my head that yes, we have to pretty much go to the top of the mountain and do something interesting, which in future, I would say, people start taking us serious and start taking these messages serious. So that's one of the basic ideas we brought into play, and we took this restaurant right at above 5,585 meters, and set up that one pop-up restaurant. And you know what, people started listening to us post that. A lot of media, a lot of social media platforms, they've covered the story, they understood our message. So all in all, a good success, a good startup, I would say.
That is real nice to know, sir. I would say, on literal terms, I think you did reach out on the top of the mountain and said it out loud regarding the restaurant. This brings up me to the next question. What was the actual or the first initial reactions from the diner who have experienced such of a new kind of a structure of high altitude culinary adventure in Himachal?
Sure. I think when you go higher the altitude, the priority in that sort of structure is your basic own life, right? Food is secondary part of it, and everything else goes secondary. It's just about human survival at that stage. So people pushing boundaries, taking a kind of fine dining setup up at that altitude, was a little bit surprising to everyone, because normally trekkers or hikers who go there, They always expect a simple meal, probably it's cup noodles or is some chocolates, or very basic kind of meals. But when somebody is proposing out a full restaurant, it was definitely a good kind of a surprise for them, and diners were definitely happy. They appreciated our efforts, where a lot of hikers or trekkers will go and rest and relax at some altitude, and then Sherpas will do the cooking. But it was us who were trekking. It was us who were carrying our equipment. It was us who was with Sherpas setting up those tents and then cooking for the guests. So they appreciate that kind of work which was put into it. And of course, food becomes delicious if there is efforts put into it, is honest.
Definitely, sir. So, sir, just to extend this question, was this Sherpas also being recruited from the local origin, or did you recruit them from a global platform to get them on for the culinary setup at high altitude restaurant?
Sure. So the Sherpas, of course, there are only registered bodies who can do a Sherpa work. So of course, we have to go through registered, companies to hire Sherpas, to hire trekking agents. So we took most of the Sherpas were from Nepal. Then our guests were from different places, Indians, Nepalese. We had some European guests also, because it was a very short kind of a notice event. So we managed to get 9 or 10 guests to visit us and have this experience. And even this offer was put out for students. And even when we will do our next chapter, we will put out the offer for students. If we see a dedicated student, if we see them clearing the interviews, we will take them along with us.
That is real nice to know. We do have India's largest culinary arts community with us. We'll definitely float this to see an opportunity for our students to take benefit from this.
Definitely.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Moving on, how does your heritage and upbringing in the Himalayas influence your cooking style or its approach or methodology, sir?
You know, I would say, because I belong to Himalayas, we have deep appreciation of nature. Living in that kind of atmosphere, living in that kind of, I would say, surroundings. We understood that how to appreciate freshness. How to appreciate local ingredients. You call it the very kind of laid back sort of cooking structure, or I would say philosophy we have adapted. So our upbringing, or our kind of good part about being raised up in Himalayas and that sort of region is, we got a different bonding to all this. Normally, I'm talking about very early days when our grandmother will go to forest, literally bring shishnu or bichu butti, what we call it, or
Yes, sir.
sting nettle,
Yes,
from
sir.
the forest, make a soup out of it. We don't have those luxury of supermarkets still in some kind of remote area. So, and I would not call it a drawback. I would call it an opportunity to understand nature a bit more better, because same kind of things are coming back. If you see some of the world's most expensive restaurants, what they do is the
Yes.
same thing. They hire a team of interns, they hire a team of chefs to go to the forest, pick up herbs, and then they serve you a menu of $1,000 out of it. So this simplicity, I think somewhere it was always there in our culture, rooted very strongly. Whether you talk about fermentation, pickling, preserving your food without refrigeration or something like that. So all these things were already embedded, and I'm thankful that some or the other way we have grown up looking those things which have blended into my professional knowledge over the years, which I've got from different parts of the world.
Yes, sir. So, is sisnu leaves being used actually in the culinary dishes or items like sisnu leaves or maybe dog leaves or any of the commonly found leaves in the Himalayan region?
See, I tell you, this is again a complete separate structure. So back in 2013, I started a project called Himalayan Soil, and this
Okay.
was one of its kind project. That time colleges, hotel management colleges, students, celebrity chefs to chefs, anyone, nobody was talking about eating something from the forest. So
Yes, sir.
that time there was a trend, farm to table, farm to table. Whether
Mhm.
we understand that how much money a farmer makes a month, we don't care about that. But because the trend is selling farm to table,
Yes, sir.
everybody was putting those tags
Mhm.
on their restaurants, we do farm to table. But actually, have any of the hotel management student have been to a farm and saw the farm, how the soil is made? No. So the whole thing was not right. So that time I created this structure called understanding foraging. So we went to the forest. We collected a lot of different sort of herbs. We have some professors from Himachal University, Dr. Anil Thakur, a lot of experts,
Mhm.
foragers, professional foragers who went with us to the forest, collected some beautiful herbs like Shishnu you just mentioned. A lot of good benefits for your health. We got a lot of herbs collected. We created a menu out of it, and we did that menu in one of the five-star properties in Himachal. And the there were a lot of people who have lived in Shimla or Kufri or on prime locations and all. I'm talking about a celebrities came to that event, and many of them were writers, journalists. They said they lived and brought up in Himachal. They never tried something like this. So that kind of trend, I'm still very proud that I brought that trend to the market, and I took that trend to colleges. And what changed is colleges started doing implementing such courses. So if a hotel management student comes from Andhra Pradesh, his
Yes.
teachers will tell him to do some local dishes in the school in their hotel management. So and now you see all the colleges have revamped their menus, which I think that's what should have been done long back. I wish
Yes.
we should have done something like that when we were in college. But nevertheless, change is coming, and that's all matters. So to your question, people have started using now. But again, if you go to any hotel, any restaurant, you don't have to open up a menu. You will still see paneer butter masala, butter
Yes.
chicken, all those repetitive recipes in every Indian restaurant. And I think
And
the true change will only come when you will see changes in that menus.
yes, sir.
And that is depends on the younger generation, because I think our senior generation have just gave up. They just want to keep those menus standard just because our diners are requesting for paneer butter masala. So put that on the menu and just keep serving that. So the change have to come throughout the cycle. Diners have to request something new, and chefs have to provide that something new. So that's how it will work.
Yes, sir. I hope this particular session also helps or motivate our generation or the younger generation to look into something which actually implies with the current new changes of menu. Being that
Yes.
said, sir, how do you balance innovation with the tradition dishes in your menu or maybe in your style, sir?
See, the thing is, I've learned a lot of French cooking techniques. I've lived in Melbourne for about 8 years. So, I've my aim to go to Melbourne was to never settle down. Back when I was going to Melbourne, everyone, until today, people are dying to go to Canada, Melbourne, get the passport and all that. I was,
Yes.
although it's their personal choice, I was never fond of it. I was like, I'll do my education. uh, I'll learn whatever I can learn. I will learn so many different types of cuisine I can learn. And then I want to go back and some way or the other, give back to the community, share it with my younger generation or whosoever I work with. I want to share that knowledge with them. So for me, what I did when I took all these different cooking techniques, and I saw that what are the drawbacks. See, nothing is perfect. Everything need a lot of working on it. So I started picking up those techniques and starting utilizing in Indian cuisine. As very basic example, as I was talking to some of the students last month, that we make a gravy in a Michelin star restaurant. Most of your hospitality students would understand it's the top ranked
Yes.
restaurants. When chefs make menu, uh, one chef will get a tomato, right? So he have to blanch it, he have to put it on the grill, he have to put it in the oven, or he have to put it in the pan, any way he want to cook it. Then they will see that what is the outcome of that cooking procedure, right? And that cooking procedure will be selected to go on to the next stage of a dish. So,
Yes, sir.
we never did that kind of thought process where we should see that every time butter chicken gravy have to be made blanching the tomatoes, or every time in home we do kadai gravy, do we have to chop the tomatoes? Can we try and put those tomatoes on charcoal and see if we can get that smokiness and then start making your base gravy? The basic example I'm saying. So I started picking up that kind of innovation and putting it to Indian food, and surprisingly did very well. Uh, And I shared that with a lot of colleges, a lot of students, and they also started opening up their mindset that we should not be
Yes.
limited. Ki if somebody said ki chop tomato, chop onion, just put it all together. Yeah, day before yesterday I was listening some cooking show. The chef says put this spice, put this spice, but we have to explain what these spices actually do. And if we remove a spice from garam masala, any single spice from that garam masala mix, what effect or impact will it give to the gravy? I know people don't take food so seriously, but at the end of the day, we eat food to give nutrition to our body and not just filling up our belly. So people have to understand that now or in future there will be an era which will be coming. People will be more interested in food and understanding behind science behind food rather than
Yes.
just ordering food.
Yes.
So I think these kind of trends or techniques, if kids understand and they see what are the drawbacks and how we can change it, can we do anything better to save nutrition, I think it will bring a big change in our cuisine in future.
Yes. That is really nice to know. So, extended question to this itself. What would be something which you would recommend the institution in India, like IHMs or Hotel Management Institute in India, for to bringing an innovative change as compared to the ones at a global level, like Le Cordon Bleu or maybe Auguste Escoffier, what they are doing and what we are not, and what innovative changes can we bring in our education system in hotel management in India? What would be
Okay,
the
so
key highlight for the same?
sure. So actually, see the change. It's overall because I did my studies, some of it in India, CIHM, which was Foodcraft Institute long back,
Yes.
and then rest of it is in Melbourne. I think change is about not just about Indian education in general. I think colleges should understand that the cooking of an ingredient begins in the farm, right?
Yes.
The ingredients start actually preparing or getting ready for us right from the farm. So the first step colleges should do is take their students to farms. I don't see doing it. I don't see any named college
Yes.
globally doing it. Recently, they might have started once a year or once a month kind of field trip, but they should not just do it for a marketing purposes. I
Mhm.
think they should originally do it because they genuinely want kids to understand how things grow up actually in the real world, and how does the farmers work with that connect. Because somewhere or the other, I was at United Nations headquarters in Italy, and I spoke on the stage about the same topic, and I said that there have been somewhere a communication gap between chefs and farmers. Although we
Yes.
kept on bragging that we do farm to table, all that nonsense, but we don't understand what farmers are growing and how we can benefit those farmers and how we can create that chain, which can benefit farmers uh, to the table in an actual world. So I think first of all, let young ones understand and let our chefs also understand that please go to farms, visit,
Yes.
understand their needs, understand their difficulties, and what you can do to support those difficulties, and then you will see things changing very quickly. Other thing I would say, innovation, look into colleges. A lot of colleges, they are very high tech and have been investing a lot in their technology. So I don't see a lot of colleges, they don't invest in the technology, which is, I think personally, it's a drawback. Students
Yes.
are paying very heavy fees. Basic calculation nowadays, fees are going up to 15-20 lakh rupees. Yeah,
Okay.
in real world, if you work in a kitchen, your salary would not reach 20-25 thousand first 3 years. So
Yes.
if you do the calculation, the students can't even make that money for
Yes.
next 5 years of studying a cookery course. So I
Yes.
don't see why we can't ask colleges to do a bit more from their end.
Yes. Yes. I hope there is a change in the education system, and maybe this session itself helped some of the students to reach out to their dean or academics in different IHMs. We do have over 1,500 plus registered students from IHMs itself in India. I hope
Oh,
this
great.
helps them too. So, moving on, what would be your biggest culinary goals for your future? So, what you think would be your top three goals in your upcoming career line, sir?
Last time I shared something like this on an international platform, and that
Yes.
goal was taken away, and it was already put out in the market. But I would say number one goal is to make our youngsters understand that this profession is about honesty.
Of
Going in front of that heat or that gas range, or whatever you're cooking, probably in front of inductions or whatever, it needs a lot of sincerity and a lot of hard work. And I think this profession have always been made for that real, I would say, individuals who love to grind,
yes,
in this crucial, I would say, cruel field. They would love to go be on the kitchen in front of heat for 12 hours a day, get about as little as 15,000 rupees. So my culinary goal is to give a little bit of a motivation in some or the other way, that we get these salaries a little bit up forth.
yes,
I My goals are to create an institution, which is real honest institution, where students come to learn, come to understand what actually cooking is about, and they fall in love with cooking. That's very important. We are not doing this profession just because we want to go to Canada or Australia or to somewhere else. We are working in this profession because we love to cook. Not as
yes,
a celebrity chef, not as this. People should have very simple aims to begin with. They should not just jump into, yeah, we will be like that on the television doing cooking shows and all that, or we will take some money from our parents and open our bakery, irrespective of what experience we have. No, you have to first go through the grind, learn this procedure from the scratch to the top, and the day you will feel, of course, this is an evolving kind of a profession where you learn every single day something new. But
yes,
the day you feel that you have enough of respect for this profession, go ahead, open up a business, take some financial support, do it right. Don't cheat your customers. Be honest to them, and customers will give you back your business. And about my goals, personally, I really would like to set up a farm and a restaurant on my own investment, which should be probably in near futures. I would like to invest myself in this kind of proposal, because it's a very unique concept.
yes,
Of course, there are people who are trying to do something similar, but I always believe that if the idea is not your own and is copied, it will never work out. For
yes,
ideas, it has to be original. वो saying है ना, अकल के लिए भी नहीं, नकल के लिए भी अकल की जरूरत होती है. तो that saying, I take it very
yes,
serious. So I have some fantastic plans for future for youngsters, and of course, it will be all about building our culinary youth together.
yes, sir, yes, sir. I hope, sir, we are be the first customers to your new upcoming venture from which holds farm to table. I hope anyone watching this would love to see you growing and see that particular venture to grow as well, sir. So, moving towards the end, what would be your personal or uh, core advices to someone who is pursuing career in culinary arts, maybe from India or maybe from abroad, early career?
Uh, Early career, all you have to do is, look down to your chopping board, and whatever you're getting through, learn it to perfection. I would say it's very important to learn the details in this profession. Currently, my job, I'm an executive chef for an airline, and apparently, this airline is one of the biggest startup in last 2 decades. There
Yes,
has
sir.
been no other airline which have opened up at that massive scale. So I'm very fortunate, and being one of the youngest executive chef in the aviation industry I've ever seen. So
Yes,
and all this is because my attention to detail have always been very focused. No matter who is doing what, you have to learn the basics. It's not the race with others; it's the race within yourself. That are you learning to chop onion better than what you were chopping yesterday? Right?
yes, sir.
That's something which kids have to understand. And don't run after the TV shows. Don't run after to be a celebrity. Don't run after being all makeup and glammed up and being in front of the camera. Just take it step by step. I know it takes a lot of time. It took me about I would say 15 years before even I started to be in front of camera, and in a front stage. So it takes time, because this profession needs a lot of technicality, and knowledge of technicality is
Mhm.
the only way you can move ahead in this profession. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of celebrity chefs struggle. because what they do, they invest a lot of money in PR companies, and then
Mm-hmm.
whatever they make, again they share it with PR companies. So it's a circle. Why they have
Yes.
to do that? Because they don't have that skill set which can sell itself. There are
Yes.
chefs like Chef Rene
Mhm.
in Noma, in Copenhagen. The chef is, I mean, so talented. The thing he have created over there, as a
Yes.
restaurant, as an institution, I call it. Journalists all over the world, they will go there, pay their own tickets, or whosoever pay for their tickets. They'll pay for the restaurant. They'll not get any discounts, and they still write an article about it. And
Yes.
there is an era in India going on now where you can't charge a journalist any amount of money, because if you charge him money or her money, she gonna write some bad review about your hotel or restaurant, and your business will never work. So, you have to stop that cycle, and see that what kind of skilled chefs are doing globally. Any Michelin star chef I'm
Mhm.
talking about. Of
Yes.
course, they have their own PR companies. I understand that. But that PR companies are for complete different reasons, not for journalism or not for promoting the restaurant. Those PR companies work on the tie-up system. So I would say in early career, don't get influenced, whatever you see on media.
Mhm.
Your time is to learn basics, get through the basics. If somebody give you a fish, you should be able to fillet a fish like a professional. You saw
Mhm.
Gordon Ramsay is very famous. Why he's famous? Because he goes on Master Chef, and you give him chicken, you give him fish, you give him crab, he will do justice to it in front of you, in front of the camera.
Yes.
So, and if you see that a lot of celebrity chefs, they don't do that in front of the camera because they can't do it. As
Yes.
simple as that. We are busy chopping onions and showing
Mhm.
people how to chop onions properly. So all in all, I mean,
Mhm.
work on your basics, that when you're 20 years down the line, you don't have to look embarrassed in front of the camera and say, I don't know how to fillet a fish. you
Yes.
know and that will really take you very forward, and I can guarantee that.
Yes. Thank you for the advice, sir. Sir, one last question for this session particularly. Sir, as you mentioned more about celebrity chef and you being one celebrity chef, can you break down a menu for us? Maybe your work with Will Smith, sir, or maybe anyone of the celebrity.
I've worked with a lot of celebrities, from, of course, from Will Smith to, I would even ministers.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so I mean, it's depends, case to case,
Yes.
always. I've served excellencies here in UAE. I've served some high profile people in Europe. The thing is, it all depends. All these kind of celebrities, they eat very simple, they eat very fresh. You should be able to adapt very quickly. And how you will adapt,
Yes, sir.
if you have knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you'll be stuck. Because see, I'm meeting a celebrity from Portugal, or I'm meeting a Colombian celebrity. I've met this rapper, very famous rapper. He's even on my Instagram. I forgot his name. He's so popular. He's into millions and millions of followers. The thing
Yes, sir.
is, we as chefs should communicate in language of food. If I don't know anything about those celebrities or about their cuisine,
Mhm.
because I never studied, and I was very busy doing one video a day as a content creator, I would never
Yes.
understand what that cuisine is doing. So, like I said, we study a lot, and of course, we get a brief before any celebrity sort of walk in, or we work with them. Most of them pre-order their stuff, so we always, what we do is, we use that knowledge, but with their pre-orders, we always keep something which we understand or we research that might excite them or might make them feel
Mhm.
wowed. So we always work into that details. Celebrities are very simple people, I would say. They are very easy to work with. And from Indian cricket team, I've served them in Melbourne, in Langham Hotel, from Saurav Ganguly to Sachin Tendulkar.
Yes,
I
sir.
was a very young boy that time, so I mean, they are very simple people. They like to eat simple, and they know what they're eating. That's a very good thing. They are not somebody who will experiment, because if they have become a celebrity, they are using certain sort of fitness regime. They
Yes, sir.
have been, always been uh, told off by their physicians or their nutritionist. So they are very cautionate to what they eat, and all we have to do is fill in those blanks. Whatever they fill us, that we need something with these kind of vitamins, these kind of minerals. Can you provide us? Then we give them options. They shortlist, and then we serve them.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. That is lovely, sir. I hope this sessions help all the students who have been watching this or any of the professional to also understand the key basics of having their basics clear to maybe follow that as an advice from you to pursue their career. To conclude this session, sir, what would be the one statement which you would want our viewers who are basically the undergraduate or postgraduate students at Hotel Management Institute in India, sir?
I would say stay honest. Your honesty will take you places, and that's all you have to focus on at the moment.
Thank you, sir. That is real nice to know. I hope everyone takes your advice seriously and be honest in helping everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time, and we hope to connect with you soon, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.